What's happening, everyone? Today we're going to do a walkthrough of this property right here because our client finally closed on it. Shout out to Sue Chen for closing on this home. Beautiful home built by Tri-Point Homes, former Pardee, and yeah, beautiful 3,200 square feet home with 4 bedrooms. One is downstairs. We get a 3-car tandem with the tandem garage right here. Beautiful pavers. But yeah, we're gonna do this walkthrough right now, and just because we're about to close and we need to do the final walkthrough inspection, so this is more for her, so she can see the video, she can see what the house looks like from the inside. Obviously, if you guys are seeing this video, she gave me permission to do this, so I will post it only if she gives me permission. But yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk through the property. We're gonna try to see if there's anything that might be wrong with the property. And I've already been through it. We already ran through it with their team of the people, you know, that do the orientation for the buyer, and also to fix up everything with the superintendent. And I already went over a lot of items with them, and they fixed them up for them. But yeah, we're gonna check it out. We're gonna start from the garage right here. I'm just looking around, see if there's anything that might be, you know, a problem. Right here, this is all, was all included with the with the price of the home, because this was a model home that Sue purchased. And pretty much we get the water filter, the water softener, and also your electric water heater. All the furniture also in the property stayed with it, which, by the way, it was crazy. This table is probably like $1,000 table. And also the chairs are super expensive. I looked up some prices, and it's crazy expensive, those chairs. Yeah, so good deal here. We got our Shutoff Valve right here. Everything looks good, great conditions. She already has all the epoxies done here on the floor. And then this right here, it's still a problem. All they had to do was tuck it in. All right. I guess that's something we need to ask them to fix right there. That garage door insulation right there. And then it looks like on the outside, everything is good. We asked for them to repair some things. Here's the issue, guys. When there is a little scratch or something on the outside, right? When you have this, even if you have this spray stucco, you're always gonna see if there's a patch on the home. And the reason why is just because, you know, it's kind of like if you get a scar. Yes, it heals, but it never heals perfectly, right? So, like, for example, though, look at that right there. That's another issue that we just noticed. Look at that. The paint on the corners, they touched them up with probably a different kind of paint, which is not acceptable. So they're gonna have to go back there and do that as well. Hey, Edgar, I just noticed this right here. The windows right here, they've got a different paint on it. It's kind of weird. I think they touched it up or something with a different kind of paint. You see the corners?
Oh, those are stucco repairs that haven't been painted. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys can get that done, that'd be great. And then also this garage door thing right here, I think it just needs to be put in the corner. Yeah, thank you. All right, and as I was telling you guys earlier right here, see on here, I don't know if you can tell with the camera, but there used to be stucco issues here, but they repaired it, and they actually did a really good job. You can't really tell if there was anything there before. So great job on that one. Everything else appears to be everything in good conditions. You've got a few maybe touch-ups up here. We gotta make sure those are done also. Andrew, also right here, there's like 2 spots here. I don't know if they can come and touch it up really quick.
Okay. Those are stucco repairs. They can't spray it because of the wind pull a few days ago.
Oh, I see.
So the paint was just thrown everywhere.
Yeah. It looks like you guys also touched up the bottom there.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Alright, I left the paper on top of the tub up there. So
Okay.
send it to her and then have it. I'll do it myself, man.
I'll send it if you want.
Sure?
It's okay. I mean, if you can do it.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Thanks. I'll let you know if I find anything else. I'll text it to you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. All right. So yeah, pretty much they went through the house. They kind of touched up everything here, all around the house. But see some patches like that. I don't know if you see these two spots, 1 and 2. Those are unfortunately not going to come off, and that's what you get when you have when you patch up a house, a spot. It's never going to look exactly the same. So that's something to consider though when you're doing a walkthrough. There's these little items right here that they add up, and it's it's unfortunate because there are mistakes. People make mistakes, right? And people from that are building your house are going to make mistakes, regardless of how experts they are, or any new construction home, you're going to have that issue. Okay. But yeah, it looks like everything else is decent though. They still have a little bit of that same issue right here on this window. Couldn't see it the other day because it was raining. So when we did the walkthrough, so when it's wet, the paint color kind of matched throughout, so you couldn't really tell as much. 2 air conditioning units, dual zone here. Not dual zone, 2 air conditioning units for the 2 floors pretty much in this house. Everything looks good. They also unclogged here. It was an issue because this thing was clogged and all the water was puddling up over here. That's one of the things you have to consider, because if the water puddles up over here, what happens is if it's too close, I think it has to be like 3 feet away from the foundation. Over time, if obviously it rains often, which usually is not the case here in Vegas because it rains every 2 months or so. But if the water kind of stagnates there, what happens is the water can infiltrate down into the cement, the foundation. So it could create cracks and things like that over time. So that's something to consider also. At least this is from what inspectors mentioned here. Beautiful. You get everything here. She got all the landscaping included in the base price. And everything was good. See there, that's actually a stain for like a water stain, so it's just a little bit of water dripping. Nothing to worry about though. Now let's go see what we have on the inside of this house and see if there is any additional issue or something that we can find. But so far it looks like they repaired everything over here, and if they didn't, we'll ask them to repair it. Let's see. And this is another thing, that you have to consider when you're purchasing a home. Get a realtor that can help you with this process, that has been through this and is going to do this for you. Although you're not, we're not responsible if we miss something. The buyer is a little bit more protected, because even if the buyer goes through the house and sees something wrong, maybe they're missing something. So let's see. Here's another thing. Now we asked them to clean this floor twice, okay, because it was a model home, so there was high traffic here, right? And then what happened is you see, I just passed the sponge right here, and look at what it did. So definitely they didn't really do a good job at cleaning, or whoever their cleaning crew is, they suck. So we might have to do our cleaning on our own. Just contact a company to do it for us. But yeah, this is a beautiful model home. There's so many upgrades in this house. It's crazy. Now over here you have like a den or bonus room, and then over to the right you have a full bedroom here. She's got the 8-foot doors all the way up, upgraded doors, 9-foot ceilings throughout the first and second floor. And yeah, here's your first bedroom here. Now on this one, we've got pretty much everything looks good. And they steam cleaned this carpet, but after seeing what they did to the flooring, to the tile floor, I wouldn't really trust them with this. So if I were the owner, Sue, go ahead and hire somebody to do it if you want to have somebody for you that can really do a good job at steam cleaning everything, and it's very inexpensive. Now you see this one too? They passed the sponge right here because they had to clean it, but then it left a bunch of, I don't know if you can see it, like dirty spots right here. But it's okay, you know, it's not a big deal. When it comes to cleaning, really, you know, if it's something so superficial, I wouldn't really worry about it that much. Also, they had some issues with, what's it called? With the water, hot water coming out. So I was surprised there were so many issues on a model home. And you know, usually Pardee doesn't have that many issues from my experience. But on this model home, they just had a little bit more. So again, every home is different. Every home has different standards and everything. So, you know, every builder is different. Every builder makes different mistakes. So you might have a builder that really does a really good job on the house and doesn't have any problems at all. And then you have builders that have a lot of problems. Anyway, the hot water was fixed though. They're good. You know, their customer service is awesome. So they did a really good job at doing it. Now, all this furniture was included with the base price, which means also all the artwork. But this is what happens then. When you have to do something here, they took off this, there was a sign that said play here, but all the screws are left in here. Now you're gonna have to take off the screws, right? Unless you wanna keep that design that they had, and you have to patch this up, okay? When you patch it up, most likely it's not gonna look as good. You can also just fill those in with a little bit of paste, you know, from Home Depot, and probably won't see it, but you know, that's what it is. Comes with the TV though. Beautiful flat screen TVs and everything. And then, you know, everything is good though inside. As far as the touch-ups, they really touched up everything as far as the paint and all that stuff. And, you know, at least they did try to clean it, the floor. They did a steam clean, but they really didn't do a good job at it. So I will probably call my my floor guy to come and fix it up and clean it well. But yeah, we tested everything here. Did you hear that too? What was that noise? I don't know. Anyway, we tested everything already when it comes to all the lights and all that stuff, the switches, the plugs, everything worked. Also, we sent, you know, an inspector, and that's one thing that I wanted to cover with you guys is that if you do end up buying a new home, get an inspection, regardless if it's a new home or not, and if you have the warranty, get an inspection because things can come up. And I'll tell you guys about a story in a second of what happened to my personal home when I purchased it and I didn't do an inspection because my realtor didn't tell me to do one. So, but more of that coming soon. Let's see. So it looks like everything is good. Everything was painted. There were some you know, some little issues here, like, you know, little scratches and things like that, paint touch-ups and all, and they did that already, okay? They painted it and they fixed it up. Now, let's see what we have here. Everything looks good though. I mean, the furniture is not going to get cleaned, so you're gonna have to do your own steam cleaning for the furniture. And that's when I can call that guy and I can say, hey, do the furniture, but also, you know, do the floor as well so we can get it all done. But when you buy a model home, you get all the furniture in it. All the furniture, all the artwork, all the plans, all that stuff. It's already done. So it's nice for somebody like Sue that is coming here to town and can just, you know, walk into the house and she's done pretty much. She doesn't have to buy any furniture or anything. And this furniture, I'll tell you, is expensive. I didn't think it was expensive, but it's really expensive. Like those chairs, those tables, those things, they're very expensive. I think they have probably about 50 grand of furniture here in this home. Although it doesn't look like this much. It's cool. And also, you know, all these things that were in the model home, coffee maker, look at this, the juice presser. That's so cool, you know. Put the orange there, press it down. Super cool, huh? Beautiful upgrades here on the canopy hood on top of the island. I mean, this home is crazy. Total purchase price for this home was $875,000. We were able to negotiate the price down from $900,000. So $25,000 off in this crazy market, which, I was surprised of. But that's what you get when you buy a new home, a model home. You'll get to keep all the furniture, all that stuff, and you can even get a little discount. But obviously you're paying more than what the neighbors are paying for, right? It's just that they will never have a home like this one. I mean, unless they really put in a bunch of upgrades. So yeah, everything looks good though. As far as the inside, as far as the paint touch-ups, we already went through that already. I didn't want to make this video, too long. So we already went through all of that. We turned on all the lights, turned them off, checked everything out. But I wanted to show you guys a few other things up here. Everything was repainted here. The stair rails were repainted because people touch with their hands, in the model home, trying to get up on the stairs. But look at this. Now, this is an issue that we weren't able to get it fixed. Now I need to talk to Sue and see if she's okay with it. It's not a big deal. So, but the problem is sometimes these things happen. And look at that. I don't know if you see this little darker spot right here. And that's because they had a patch right there. So what happens when you have a patch is, I think they had artwork on this wall right here. And then what they did is they took it off and they had to repatch it and repaint it again. But when you repatch it, if you don't use exactly the same materials and all that stuff, it might turn out that the porosity of the material might be a little bit more absorbent to the paint, to the liquids that you put on top of it. So you'll have a little bit of a fade right here because the paint is not going to look the same. If you paint two different materials, you're going to have this issue. So we're going to try to get this fixed still and see what we can do. They said that they repainted it a couple of times and it's still there. But I really don't know what's happening in there. We're going to try to get that one fixed as well. And then, yeah, the artwork, everything stays right here, with the Raiders stuff. Now, these chairs, I just looked it up. I mean, they're awesome chairs, okay? Also, look at that. They even recline and all. I'll show you. They recline and all. I looked them up how much they are. The thing comes out here and it pops up from the lever right here. Cool, huh? These things are $2,000 a piece. So just these two chairs are $4,000. I was surprised to see that they spent so much money on furniture here in this home. So I'm guessing everything else is going to be very expensive as well. But yeah, everything was touched up. Everything is done well. So the only issues we have is on the outside for that paint, the paint touch-ups. And I'm going to tell them to come in here and try to fix that wall as well before we close on the house. Because I think it's still something that they should have done better. Even if it's a patch, it's a structural item. It's something attached to the house, to the bones of the house. So they should be able to fix it already. Now, laundry room, also we had some issues with the hot water in the laundry room, hot water in that bathroom, and hot water downstairs in the bedroom downstairs, okay, in the ensuite. So we were able to get those fixed. Everything is done. And also we were able to fix these two. They had a different color right here for the draining spout right there and that overflow spout. And they fixed it. They replaced it in time before we close, which is great. Everything is good though. As far as everything else, I already went into detail with them as far as all the little touch-ups that they had to do. Big size room here. We got a 14 by 15 by 16 room. Really good size. Let's see. And this one right here. Pretty cool. But yeah, when I purchased my home, my realtor said, oh yeah, you can do an inspection if you want, but it's a new home. You can always get it fixed later. I was like, yeah, sure. I'll just get it fixed later. But then there are some things that your eye will not catch and that you might not catch within the next year, within the 1 year of warranty that you have. So you have to watch out for that. In fact, over here, what they had in the installation, right? We sent out an inspector because we don't want to be, I'm not an agent that doesn't suggest you to do an inspection. So I'll always suggest you to do an inspection. And after we sent out the agent said, the inspector said that we had an issue up in the attic that didn't have the proper insulation in there, or at least there were a lot of spots that were missing insulation in the attic. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're paying for a house to be a new home and in good conditions, it better be in good conditions, okay? But yeah, so what we did is we got them to get it fixed, and now there shouldn't be any problems right now. There are no more problems. They fixed all the insulation up in the attic. So that was another thing, and you probably would have never noticed it. I mean, unless you go into the attic yourself to go do something, or even if you did, you might not even notice what kind of insulation you need in there and all these things. So having a good inspector is always going to be worth the money, in my opinion. And we noticed a lot of extra details. For example, once we go into the garage, I'm going to show you. We got like the garage door. There is a resistance, threshold that the garage door has in case there's somebody underneath of it. So if you put a hand underneath the garage door when it's closing, even though you're not putting your foot on the laser right there, that is gonna trick it to go back up. If you put some pressure on it, it should stop and it should go back up, right? Which is something that I haven't tested. So let's go test it together and see what it is. Oh, let me get my shoes on first. I want to get my feet dirty. And so if you put that pressure, it should go back, right? Now, if you don't know about this, and you just buy a home, and you don't have an inspector to check that for you, you're likely going to miss it. And probably you won't even notice within a year that there's an issue with that. But let's say there's a kid that gets stuck there in the front of the garage. Okay, maybe, yeah, they'll trigger the, what's it called, the laser light, whatever it is, right? And then once it's triggered, it'll go back up. But what if it doesn't? What if there's something else or those sensors right there, they don't work, right? That's what I'm talking about. If you put your foot there, it just goes back up. But check this out. Let's see if it's actually a problem. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, so it went back, but I really had to put in a bunch of force right there to reverse to reverse that thing. I was putting a lot of pressure. Like when I was handling it like this, I don't have as much strength, right, in my arm when I have my hand up, right? So I wasn't able to pull it back up. But when I went down like this, I had a lot of pull strength right here. So I was able to reverse it. So let's see. Okay, it's working. It was not working, this thing, but they got it fixed. It's a technical issue sometimes that these things have. But yeah, it's supposed to reverse. Or obviously, if you kick it, right? Let's see if the light works here. Yep, and it works. So it works, they fixed it. But yeah, let's see here. Lots of little details. Look at that. Also that's crazy. Yeah, they gotta get that fixed. Yeah, and little details, they bother me. I might be a little bit too picky. Call me picky, but I'm very picky. If it was my house, I probably wouldn't care that much. But since it's my client's house, I really have to care, and I have to do this, the right way. So that's what your due diligence is when it comes to doing the walkthrough of the house. I want to tell you a little bit of the story, what happened to my house, my personal house. I purchased a home, and what they did is, I'm going to go to the side to show you what happened here. There is a spout for the air conditioning that discharges the condensation. When the water condenses, you know, when you have the humidity that gets pulled out of the house, right, by the air conditioning unit, which is, I think, on this side, but let's see if the spout is in the backyard. So what happened is there should be a plastic spout, right, that takes all the water out from the air conditioning unit. And I'm not sure if it's this one. It might be this one right here. You see that? That's the discharge in case, you know, it overflows. I mean, when the condensation comes out from the air conditioning unit, it has to discharge on the side of the house. Now, that pipe, when I purchased my home, was buried inside the wall. And I never did an inspection. Otherwise, if I did an inspection, I had a good inspector like my inspector that I recommend, he would have noticed that. He always points it out on his inspection reports. Hey, here's the pipe. Here's the discharge pipe for the air conditioning unit. You see it right there? Those two, that's for each air conditioning unit. Now, if you bury that one inside the wall, I don't know how, it was like broken inside the wall and then they drywalled over it. What's going to happen? When the air conditioning starts working, it's going to start dripping. Where is it going to drip? It's going to drip water inside the wall. And we had this bathroom right here. It was like over here, the bathroom. And the pipe was buried up above over there. But there was nothing flowing over here. So it was all dried up. And from there, what we had is this issue where it was dripping water. And there was a window underneath. So let's say you have the pipe up here, right? It was dripping water and was going on the window. And then we didn't know what was wrong with this house. I mean, where's the leak? We checked in the attic, we checked everything. There was nothing wrong with it. And then what we had to do is we had to open up the wall from the inside. And there was mold everywhere, all over here, inside the walls, all that stuff. And this was like just after the year was up. So all the studs and all the framework all around the bathroom here was all covered up with mold. And that's a big issue, right? Now, I called the company. Fortunately, they were able to come in and get it fixed, right? Which is good, you know. It was nice of them that they came in and fixed it even after. But, I mean, they would have gotten a really big lawsuit if they didn't. But the pain and all the stress that we had to go through for this process was crazy, because what happened is, you know, they had to come into our house for a week and do the mold remediation, and you know, mold remediation, it gets really, really intense. And you know, you have a machine into your bathroom that sucks out all the humidity, which kills the mold, and then you have to remove the mold and all that stuff. It took like a week or 2 weeks of people working in our house with our bathroom pretty much could not be used. And they opened up all the drywall, they redid it all, and it was just, you know, inconvenience. You know, all of this to tell you guys, it's worth it to do an inspection on your home. Just get out there, do an inspection before you're about to close. You know, make sure that they did build to the right way. You never know. Maybe, you know, the majority of the time, nothing is going to be wrong with the house, and that's fine. But like, for example, in this case, we found some things from the inspection reports, and it really helped us. And I suggest every one of you guys to do an inspection on your home, because when you do it, you have a professional come out and he's going to find all the issues that are, you know, they're going to be in the house. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you're seeing it, obviously Sue gave me permission. Give her a shout out. Tell her in the comments, congratulations, Sue, for closing on her new home. And if you guys need any help and you want to have a good realtor represent you, feel free to reach out to me. My information is going to be down in the description. I appreciate you guys watching until the end, and I will see you in the next video.